Manager is in town. Terry Venables brings his Wembley FC team here for the FA Cup, and they've got a new signing. Former England defender Ugo Ehiogu is in the squad. It's time for the FA Cup. Today, Uxbridge take on Wembley in a Middlesex derby in the preliminary round of the FA Cup. Now, you may or may not know, but Budweiser are sponsoring Wembley this season, and in their bid to try and get Wembley through as many rounds as possible, they're recruiting quite a few familiar faces. So, Ugo Ehiogu is joining the likes of Claudio Caniggia and Martin Keown. The dressing room is a bit busy at the moment. We're not going to pop in there, but as you can see, these are now Wembley players under the management of Ian Bates and Terry Venables, who we'll talk to in just a moment.
I'm here in the Uxbridge dressing room, a team who are one level above Wembley in the pyramid of football. So on paper they should be favourites for today's match, but it's a unique task for manager Tony Charles, and I'll be having a chat to him in a minute.
Well, after a fair few years of doing this commentary business, I reckon there are two essentials a few minutes before a big game. One, commentary notes. Two, cup of tea. And I've got both here in the genteel surroundings of the Uxbridge Tea Room, where members of the public can come and be refreshed before, during and after the big game. Now, who's playing in that big game? Let's have a look at the two sides. We'll start with the visitors, Wembley. All the questions were over which big names would be involved. The answer is two. Claudio Caniggia, the Argentine, and the former England centre-back Ugo Ehiogu. Those are the two former internationals that make it. Ian Bates, the player-manager, makes his 848th appearance. And plenty of eyes too, covetous eyes, on Daryl Atkins, the 21-year-old wide-forward player who today has signed a contract with the club to try and stop others from whisking him away. As for Uxbridge, the home side, who play in the Everstick Southern League Division 1 Central, that's one league above Wembley, they have a deal of non-league experience, and the only player on their side who has played in the Football League is Chris Moore, their striker, who was with Brentford and Dagenham and Redbridge. Watch out for number 9, Matty Woods as well, the equivalent of Atkins in the Uxbridge team. So that's the situation here. The team sheets are in, the tea has been brewed, it's absolutely delicious, and you know, Rebecca, the best thing of all, served in China too.
John, thank you very much. Hope you're getting us around in there. I've got Ugo, Terry and Martin here with me. Terry, I'll start with you. Yes, indeed, you're first. So Ugo, you've brought in to bolster your defence.
Well, I brought him in. No, of course, we've worked together at Middlesbrough, and which was really good. So we know each other from the past, and also he was in the England squad with me when I had it in '96. So I know all about you guys. He's one of us.
The last game against Langford, you won 3-2 and played really very well. If there was one thing that you'd be looking to improve upon that performance today, what would it be?
Just everybody improve a bit more, because then all round we get the team doing better. I think that the side's done well over the period of time that I've been here. But obviously this game is going to be a tough one, because they are a league further up and they've got a good reputation, not for standing away from the ball when it comes to a tackle. They haven't got that reputation. But they have got a reputation of being a good club and a good team.
Martin, you're in your suit. Doesn't look to me like you're going to get very active this afternoon.
Well, Terry never actually picked me when I was playing for England, and he's not picking me today either. I'm not holding it against him though, but actually I'm quite happy to sit on the bench with Terry. Looking at the reports for the game, they're quite a physical bunch apparently. But listen, we prepared well, so we're looking forward to it, and it's about how we handle the occasion, because it's massive for these guys playing lower league football, and all the cameras are here and the expectations are high now.
It certainly is a big game. Ugo, I'm going to come to you. Big new signing. When was the last time you put on your boots?
Well, I'll have to remember that. It must have been a good 6-8 months ago.
Now you tell me. I thought you was regular.
Yeah, it was one of those where, you know, I think it's a fantastic opportunity to come and play. Yeah, you know, and you know, the FA Cup, although it's, you know, a few rounds from what you used to, it's still a great cup and forward tradition. So I think everyone at least should enjoy themselves today.
And just finally, you played in the final of the FA Cup back in 2000 for Villa, I think I'm right in saying, runner-up. But this still has that FA Cup feeling, even though it's many rounds, as you say, before that.
It is, and it's FA Cup's FA Cup, you know, and you know, when you're playing a game of football against someone else, it's, you know, you always want to win, and you know, hopefully we can have a good start and, you know, and get through the next round.
Gentlemen, we wish you lots of luck. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you later. It's time to cross to Alicia.
Well, I'm here with Tony Charles in the Uxbridge dressing room. Tony, how do you prepare the team for a game like this? There's some international players on the opposition. You've got a female in the dressing room, and there's cameras out there as well.
Yeah, well, it's just a normal week for us, a female in the changing room. So I hope that gets half of them in trouble. But no, we prepare for this as we do in the other game. The only fortunate thing is there's a lot more at stake today than there is in the league game. But, you know, they know what they've got to do. We've prepared them this week. Paul Mills, the assistant, spoke to them on the training pitch. Every one of them knows what they've got to do, no excuses. And if they do that, I would like to think that we come away with a win.
Do you pay any special attention or more special attention to a player like Claudio Caniggia?
No, not really. You know, we've got quality in our own changing room, and I know Ian Bates, the manager, very well. He will be more so worried about us than we are them. You know, we're in a no-win situation today. If we lose today, we're going to get some stick. If we win today, people are going to say, well, you should win anyway with the quality that you got down at Uxbridge. So we'll just get on with it today. We'll do what we've got to do, and we'll see at the end of the game if we've done enough.
Well, that's all from Tony in the change room. We'll head back to John Champion, who's with the Uxbridge president, Alan O'Dell.
Well, it's a real treat to be in the boardroom here at Uxbridge. It's a club founded in 1871. So many items of memorabilia. This one particularly appeals to my eye. 1976, a game at the old Wembley National Stadium, and it finished England 8, Uxbridge 0. Now, why on earth were Uxbridge playing England?
Mind you, one goal was offside.
Oh, stop it. Alan O'Dell has been associated with Uxbridge for more than 80 years. He's the club president now. Now, why on earth, Alan, were you able to arrange for England, the national team, to play your club?
Well, at that time I was working at the Football Association. I was the international secretary and did all the administration work for the England side. And Don Reevy, we were going to play a World Cup match in Finland, and Don Reevy wanted a game that he could play against a side that he knew they could score goals against to give them confidence. So I said, well, I can get our lot to come along if you like. You'll score plenty of goals against them. And so that was how it happened. It was all done under a great cloak of secrecy. Even at the club here, nobody knew where the game was going to be played until they got to Wembley. But it was a great occasion.
That was one of the landmark days in the long and distinguished history of Uxbridge. And maybe today will be another with all the cameras here and
this most certainly
all the hullabaloo.
Yeah.
I mean, how excited are people here? You've had your AGM this morning, but how excited are people in Uxbridge by this game?
Well, the people around the club are tremendously excited. I'm not sure about the people of Uxbridge because, to be honest, the people of Uxbridge don't support this club terribly well. But all of us here on the committee and the members, we're very excited, and it's really a great day for this football club. First time live on television, good chance, we hope, of progressing in the FA Cup, playing against a lot of star-studded former international players. Great day for us all, and thank God the sun's shining.
Yeah, thanks very much for arranging that. Just a final thought. I wouldn't ask you for a prediction, not after all your years in football. You know how futile that would be, but you start at a league higher than your opponents today, Wembley, so you are the favourites. Is that fair?
No, not really, because when you look at all the all-star players at Wembley are going to be able to call on today, 5 or 6 full internationals. I know that they're retired and some of them are in their 40s, but they must still have a tremendous amount of quality, so I would say we're marginally the underdogs, I would think. But let's hope we can get through, because if we do, we've got another home game in the next round.
Absolutely. Berkhamsted Town await the winners, having beaten Hadley yesterday in the first qualifying round. It's been lovely to catch up with Alan, and thank you very much for hosting us so regally at your club.
It's been a great delight to have you all here, and I hope you all enjoy the afternoon. We have a good time. Let's hope we can win.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff there. I'm sure we will enjoy the afternoon. Clark Carlisle has joined me and he'll be our co-commentator for this afternoon's game. We will enjoy this afternoon because it's a great atmosphere and it's a really impressive day so far.
It's been a fantastic day so far, like a real festival atmosphere. It's it's brilliant that all the attention has been brought to this level of football, because a lot of people aren't aware that the FA Cup starts this early, and the very dream and magical ties that you see in the first round, these guys have played 7 games to get there, so to get the attention on these guys and give them their chance of a lifetime. It's fantastic.
Well, Wembley in the last round in the extra preliminary beat Langford by 3-2. We'll show you some of the goals from that game. We'll show you all 5 goals, actually. The first one from one of their stars, Claudio Caniggia. You never lose your touch.
You don't know. You know, your pace may go, mobility, but one thing you don't lose is that composure in front of goal. And Claudio there is showing all the class that he had many years back. And it's something that very tough to learn. You know, it's something that you have. It's a natural talent. So it was really interesting to see young Atkins
This is Daryl Atkins here with his first goal of 2 that day. This is his second. He's just 21 years old. And he looks to me like he's got some natural talent. What do you think? You're the expert.
Definitely. There were 2 outstanding finishes. The first one with the outside of his right foot. Learning that composure in front of goal is very, very tough. So for him to show that at just 21 years of age, you know, I'm not surprised that there are many, many clubs watching him and keeping tabs on his progress.
It's such an opportunity because obviously on television last round, you won't be used to that. On television again today, a lot of clubs are circling him, although he has just signed a new contract, as John Champion said. But for a 21-year-old at this level of football, how will he be feeling now?
He'll be so nervous because anyone who aspires to be a professional footballer, you know, and especially these guys who have got this opportunity to shine on the national stage, he'll have been dreaming about this for many, many years. So to actually get the opportunity with the nation's cameras, nation's eyes on him, he'll be wanting to give his best.
OK, well, the teams are gathering in the tunnel at the moment. They're on their way out down the little fenced walkway. Here they come. So, Wembley are here at Honeycroft to play Uxbridge in the preliminary round of the FA Cup, just a place away from the first qualifying round. The first half is coming next. How will Uxbridge deal with Claudio Caniggia and Ugo Ehiogu? You'll find out in just a moment. Welcome back to Honeycroft. It's Uxbridge against Wembley in the preliminary round of the FA Cup, and it's Terry Venables' second game in charge of Wembley. I'll hand you up to our commentators here at Honeycroft, Clark Carlisle and John Champion.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good afternoon, everybody. An occasion that offers up plenty of firsts, given the attention lavished on this preliminary round tie of the FA Cup with Budweiser. But for Uxbridge and Wembley to meet is hardly a first. Today, the 77th game between these Middlesex rivals. The Uxbridge team contains one player with Football League experience. Striker Chris Moore used to lead the line at Brentford and Dagenham. Number 9, Matty Woods, is worth watching. He's quick and direct. And there's the usual range of occupations represented. For instance, the goalkeeper, John Peacock, is a bailiff. Wembley include a couple of ringers. Argentine World Cup player Claudio Caniggia has flown in from his home in southern Spain. And former England centre-back Ugo Ehiogu has also been signed up. 38-year-old player-manager Ian Bates makes his 848th appearance for the club. 21-year-old Daryl Atkins took the eye in the previous round and has attracted plenty of interest from elsewhere since. Uxbridge in red today, and there is their number 9, Matty Woods, a former Hendon player. Also AFC Hayes, from whom he signed earlier this summer and has scored 2 in as many appearances for his new club so far. He's one to watch, and there's the other, his opposite number in the white today of Wembley, Daryl Atkins. Interest from several quarters shown in him off the back of his brace of goals against Langford, but this morning he put pen to paper on a contract, which is a rarity for Wembley as a club to offer one, but it does protect them in the event that he is tempted away. Ugo Ehiogu is approaching his 40th birthday. He's still in excellent shape. Works with the younger players at Tottenham these days on a part-time basis. He was a runner-up in that final of 2000 for Villa against Chelsea. Wembley's technical advisor, Terry Venables, a winner of the FA Cup as both player and manager, and alongside him is lieutenant on this occasion, Martin Keown. He is named as one of the 7 substitutes. And Claudio Caniggia, well, thank goodness he's out there on the pitch, because he turned up today with his agent. His name wasn't on the gate, and there was no way at that stage that the gate man was letting him in. Having tossed the coin, there is a change of ends. It's a good playing surface here. The groundsman, Jeff Hind, has done wonders with it. Simon Leaf from Finchley, 26-year-old referee. And the reward for the winners today, a cheque for £1,750 from the FA Cup prize fund, and also a first qualifying round tie at home to Berkhamsted Town. Away we go then, just to remind you that the home side, Uxbridge, are in red and playing from the right in this first half. This is Max Howell, finding Mark Smith, and now Danny Julian. And delighted to say that alongside me in the commentary box is the chairman of the Professional Footballers Association, and a man well acquainted with West London from his time at QPR, and that's Clark Carlisle.
Good afternoon, John. What a glorious day it is as well.
What a contrast to yesterday.
I didn't think we were going to have a day like this yesterday. I thought we might have been in tsunami weather, but this is fantastic. What an occasion.
And it's also a very sizable crowd that's been attracted by this contest. Here is Matty Woods. This is Uxbridge's first game in this season's competition. Wembley have come through a round already. Kevin Warner, the left back, being detailed to take this throw. Towards Chris Moore, a wily striker who appeals for a corner but finds that it is in fact a goal kick. What effect can Terry Venables hope to have in his part-time role with Wembley, Clark?
Well, when you bring in a man of such experience and quality as Terry Venables, there's always a quandary when you have a player manager. He's out on the pitch. How can he assess the situation? How can he make decisions? And that's when he has to have a trusted assistant to make them for him. And who more trusting than Terry Venables' hands to have them in?
Foul committed by Connor Carroll. And the referee in close attendance to give the free kick. Christian Hale laying down the law. Experienced defender. Warner. Good ball in, but clutched out of the skies by the unmistakable figure of Lee Pearce, the goalkeeper. Paul Shelton, Wembley's club record goal scorer. Block was by Julian. It's Kinesia. Ehio. Warner lunged in but was beaten to it. It's Atkins. And there's the Uxbridge captain, Wayne Carter. And next to him, Stuart Farrell clearing his lines. Warner. Christian Hale would have wanted that to run, it wouldn't oblige. Tony Chawles, manager of Uxbridge, former midfielder with the club, has also been in charge at Hornchurch and Hillingdon Borough, where he was the manager of his opposite number today. Ian Bates was in his team at Northwood earlier in his career. So first opportunity from a corner, Clark.
Yeah, and they'll be looking to capitalise on these set-piece situations. You know, Uxbridge are a league above Wembley, and they'll be hoping that their quality in situations like this will pay dividends. But I think the parity's restored with the quality of the likes of Hugo Ehio in the defence there. They'll all benefit from his experience there.
Carter with the kick. The goalkeeper stayed on his line. Crowd of bodies in front of him. Sean Lucian. Here's Farrell. Ty Edun, the left back. Goal kick given.
Well, before the game, Hugo was saying that he's not played for so long and that he might be lacking in some athleticism. I mean, he looks in fantastic shape. But one thing you don't lose as a player is that ability to control the game with your voice. And I think all the back line around him will definitely benefit from him controlling them, guiding them into situations so that they're ahead of the game instead of being reactionary.
That's a good point. I've also got some news for you, Clark. One or two of the Wembley scouts saw you appear today, and they reckon if they go through today, they're going to sign you up for the next round.
Well, I said to Budweiser I'll play for a crate and a half, so I've got my boots in my bag.
Here's Atkins. Nasty collision right on the edge of the penalty area. Free kick's been given. The suggestion from Wembley is it might have been a penalty, but referee was well placed and said right on the edge.
That's a very tough one because the defenders actually stood inside the box, but you can just see that the contact was made outside the box. That's the third time already that Daryl Atkins has showed his pace and caused problems for the Uxbridge defence. That turn of pace is such a valuable asset, just nicking in front of defenders and causing all sorts of problems.
Well, the considerable aerial presence of Ugo Ehiog may be brought to bear here. Ian Bates, the player manager, is going to take this. Bates it is. Rather a waste. Quick distribution, dealt with by Hale. Wrong option with the free kick.
That was a fantastic ball in from the manager there. You know, I was talking before the game how he takes all the free kicks, all the penalties, and I thought that was him just pulling rank, but that's an outstanding delivery. And what you always say to your strikers in those situations is get across the goalkeeper. He should never be collecting the ball, especially not at chest height.
Hale. Heartening to see so many people watching the game. Terry Venables and Martin Keown down on the Wembley bench, but around this Honeycroft ground, one of their biggest attendances for many a year. They've been assiduous in leafleting the local area. The ground is actually in West Drayton rather than Uxbridge. Tested for Lee Pearce.
It's a great take from Lee Pearce there. I bumped into him yesterday at the studios. He was talking about the game, how excited he and the guys are, and he'll be delighted that the two first tasks asked of him is collected the ball comfortably, decent distribution. That'll really settle him down for the rest of the game.
When you say you bumped into him, Clark, you are here today and you seem okay to me.
Oh, no, he's a man of very great stature, and I know that Craig Burley was questioning his mobility in the last round, but from his first two involvements in this game, he looks very, very well equipped to me.
Described in one of this morning's newspapers as a budding Peter Shilton trapped in Eric Pickle's body.
Oh, if only I had the words to match that.
Moore. This is Warner. Oh, and that was late. That was Daryl Atkins. Words of apology from the Wembley man. What do you reckon, Clark?
It was a late challenge and he did catch the player. He was entitled to go for the ball because it was loose. But I think if he gets booked here, Daryl Atkins will feel hard done by because he's already been upended 3 times by the Uxbridge defence. So it's good to see some sensible refereeing. He knows that this will mean a lot to the guys and there will be some full-blooded challenges. And try and let the game flow as much as possible.
Unfortunately, no damage was done. It's Kevin Warner. Carter. Proving cheers. And then Pearce comes, doesn't claim, and Ehiog has to tidy up. Not entirely successfully, whacked it straight against Moore. Woods. Uncomfortable moment for big Lee Pearce.
Well, he made it tough for the striker. You see the ball come in, it's a 50-50. It's a great delivery, by the way. One for the strikers to get on the end of. But Lee Pearce just gets out there. You want him to dominate those situations. He should be cleaning out man and ball there, dominating his box. But just gets caught betwixt and between.
Lee Pearce is a London cabbie. Here's Atkins. Fitzgerald clearing for Uxbridge. Assistant manager George Green and the technical advisor deep in conversation.
Don't get sucked in too much.
Bates touched on by Carroll. The block was by Paul Shelton. Tony Chawles, a voluble presence on the touchline for Uxbridge. He's only the club's 5th manager in more than 40 years.
Now, there have been rumours that Terry Venables and Ian Bates have differed somewhat on their choices for formation for this team to play. We all know that Terry Venables loved playing 3 centre-halves at the back and tried to move the ball through the thirds that way. And Ian Bates is a very staunch 4-4-2 man. So it seems that they've come to some kind of compromise in this 4-3-3 formation that they've played. It'll be interesting to see how the team adapts to that.
There's a suggestion, if Wembley are leading late on in the game, that they might introduce Martin Keown as a 3rd centre-back at that stage to shore things up, but that's a way away. Here is the player-manager Bates. Pursued by Atkins. Canisia is by the penalty spot. Shelton too. That'll be a goal kick.
You know, it adds a whole dimension when you've got a striker with so much pace. You see Bates there, he just dropped the ball into an area, just putting it into that grasp in front of the corner flag. And Bates can leave his defender for dead. And, Atkins can leave his defender behind and get onto that and try and create something for Wembley.
Line up, mister. Line up.
The decision for referee Leaf. Connor Carroll taking a while to get his breath back.
That tackle bordering on industrial there.
As opposed to agricultural. Header fell short. Canisia was allowed a touch, but not a telling one.
He's got a knack of being in the right place at the right time, Claudio Canisia. Those striker's instincts, but the finish failed him there.
Woods eventually brought down by a trailing leg of Christian Hale, and we are going to see yellow for the first time now.
Very cynical challenge there by Christian Hale, but I think it's one that he had to make. You know, he felt that Woods had been through on goal. the ball might pass you or the man, but never the twain shall meet. That's what I was taught as a kid.
You used to reflect on that during your suspensions, did you?
Yeah, I had to adapt as my career progressed. The game has become more and more sanitised, but it's all for the better. It's all for the health and safety of the players.
School teacher Christian Hale goes into the referee's book.
Very much a case of do as I say, not as I do for his pupils.
At least he won't be back at school tomorrow to have to answer for his sins. In 10 days or so. Sean Lucian.
Well done, well done.
Not a great free kick, but it does yield a corner. Carter. Atkins. Hale. Fitzgerald. Carroll. There's every opportunity Wembley seek to involve Daryl Atkins. Peacock thought he'd done enough, but he hadn't. In fact, an eagle-eyed referee's assistant says corner.
Oh, it's quite easy to see why clubs are watching Daryl Atkins. You know, his first touch pulling the ball out of the sky there, the sun was in his face. Did very well to get it under, laid it off, and then his movement spinning out and round down the channel.
Bates. Woods. Wayne Carter. Ehiog doing enough. So long, one half of the successful Ehiog-Southgate partnership at Aston Villa and then at Middlesbrough. Lives in North London these days, so hasn't had too far to travel to this well-appointed home of Uxbridge, one of the oldest football clubs in London. Founded in 1871, they first entered the FA Cup in 1873 and lost to the eventual runners-up that year, the Royal Engineers. And at that time, they boasted a full England international, one Hubert Heron, in their ranks. It was enough of a foul by Shelton to attract attention. Moore. In his 30s now, Chris Moore. It's a good ball in. Cleared by Ehiog. Warner. Mark Smith. And now Bates sorting matters out for his team.
That was a fantastic ball across the goal there from the striker, Chris Moore. He'll be expecting one of his other partners. They're playing three up top as well, Uxbridge, and when your main striker's pulled out of the play, you're expecting one of the other ones to make up that second striker in the box. So, you know, he'll be expecting them to get in or a midfielder to break that line and support him in those attacks.
Came off Farrell's head. Then Fitzgerald. Danny Julian. Firm challenge by Howell. of these players play football for the money. Wembley have only started paying their players this season with the sponsorship deal from Budweiser. And Uxbridge just provide expenses for their staff. Free kick given. Foul committed on Sean Lucian. Hugo Ehiog's blowing hard now. Trained with his new teammates for the first time, only on Thursday evening. Warner. That was Connor Carroll. And Pearce down at the foot of his post to deny Woods. Not sure it would have gone in. Certainly adjacent.
Some fantastic skills from the centre half there. Just playing keepy-uppies and puts the ball back across the goal. Any decent contact would have probably seen Lee Pearce in far more trouble than he actually was. That's the first real scoring opportunity, I think, of the game.
It's the two number 9s that are attracting attention. Woods there of Uxbridge and Atkins of Wembley. And this is the closest that either side has come.
I think the weather's going to play a huge part today. It's absolutely baking. It's so tough to keep up the tempo in a match.
Here comes Peacock, the goalkeeper.
When the conditions are like this. So speaking of people like Hugo Ehiog who haven't played for so long, you know, I think it might be fair to say that we'll see a lot of players wilt after about an hour or so, and it'll be whoever maintains their concentration enough or maybe introduces the fresh legs at that point will probably step on and dominate the game.
Lucian. Kinesia. 45 now. Connor Carroll. Atkins, behind by Howell.
A great little bit of link-up play in the middle of the park there. Ehiog found Kinesia on the halfway line. Just a little bit of link-up with his supporting midfielder. And drew the foul.
So Wembley, of the combined Counties League Premier Division, it's 8 leagues below the Premier League, with an opportunity here. Ian Bates, the player-manager, with it. Just over Atkins, it's going to come out towards Finnegan. Lucian. Carter. Julian and Finnegan going in hard.
Not sure how the referee separates that tackle. You know, that's a bit of 6.5 dozen for me. It's a fantastic tackle from the gaffer there. I wonder if any of the lads ever tell him if he doesn't. On that last corner, it was another fantastic delivery from the manager into the back post. Saw Atkins duck under it.
Flag was long since up against Paul Shelton. Very comfortable decision. Last time these teams met, Last December in the Middlesex Charity Cup, Wembley won by 3 goals to 1. The attendance was 43. Got many times that number inside this Honeycroft ground today.
And that's definitely one of the positives about the involvement of Budweiser in this.
May come for Shelton here. Still a chance. And still Paul Shelton. How long did he want? The record scorer puts Wembley in front. It seemed to take an eternity. But despite playing higher league opposition, Terry Venable's men have their noses in front here.
It is such a good job that Shelton finished this, because there were 3 players screaming for him to lay it off. They had the goal at their mercy, but he knew what he was doing, just teasing the goalkeeper who was shuffling along across the grass, couldn't stop it. It's very good composure from the centre forward, and an excellent finish.
The most public of his 140 goals for Wembley. And at the age of 35, he's still banging them in. Smith for Uxbridge. And at whatever stage, the FA Cup delights in producing surprise scorelines. And this would qualify as one. Howell came upwards to Warner. Good response.
An excellent response, and exactly what you want from your fullbacks. You want them joining in the attacking play, because when you've got an overload, it's so hard to pick up. Kevin Warner there nearly finds the bottom corner. It's a great strike. Pearce had no chance.
Kevin Warner, like so many of these players on both teams, had experience with a league club, but only as a junior. Smith chases. 2 in the box for Uxbridge. Lucian becomes a 3rd. It's behind for a corner. Carter, the captain. Deep, too deep. Farrell. Playing behind doesn't necessarily bother Uxbridge too much. They played Thatcham Town in a league game on this ground. Only 5 days ago, they were 4-2 down and won 5-4 in stoppage time. So how much of a pointer this Wembley goal is, the ultimate result is open to question. Here's the goal scorer, Shelton. Claudio Kinesia. Howell. And now Smith. Let's hear from the Uxbridge manager, Tony Charles, with Alicia Ferguson.
Tony, it looked like he started the brighter of the teams there, so you must be gutted to concede that goal.
Yeah, I don't think we dealt with the situation very well. But yeah, it's disappointing when we've sort of like dominated this opening period. But I'm still confident we'll get something out of it. We just need to tidy up on a few things and keep it as it is at the moment. You know, I'm confident we'll score.
And it looks like, as you said, you had most of possession and started the game, but Wembley do have that threat of the counter-attack.
Absolutely, you know, they're catching us on the counter-attack at the moment, but we'll get in at half-time and we'll sort that out, and hopefully we can eliminate that and impress them a little bit more.
And you've had a couple of decent chances up the other end as well.
Yeah, I'm disappointed we've not finished them off. You know, we've scored 8, 9 games in our last 2 games, and we're putting them chances away. Unfortunately, at the moment, that's not happening. So we need to address that at half-time.
Cheers, Tony.
Thank you.
Tony Charles. Here's Woods. One of his more incisive players earning a corner. Charles, not a man you'd argue with. He won't stand for rubbish for long, particularly as his job is the supervisor of dustmen for the London Borough of Hillingdon. Carter. So what have you made of the opening half hour, Clark?
I think it's been a very even contest. You know, there's don't know if there's a bit of pressure in the opening 10 or 15 minutes. It was quite a scrappy affair, but we started to see the likes of Bates start to control the ball in the middle of the park, and just like the Uxbridge manager said there, that Wembley are catching Uxbridge on the counter-attack a lot because of the pace that they've got in this forward line, and they're going to need to do something about that. Uxbridge only seem to have Matty Woods and maybe Chris Moore, who've been capable of producing anything.
And this is Moore. Lucian. And that was Woods. Offside. Wembley are due a run in this competition. They've only reached the first round proper once, back in 1980, when, to their great disappointment, they were drawn against fellow non-leaguers Enfield and lost 3-0. They've also made 3 sorties to the 4th qualifying round. Victory today would put them in the 1st qualifying round. Warner. Woods. Kevin Warner again, the left back. The winners of this tie entertain Berkhamsted Town, and round follows round pretty quickly at this early stage of the FA Cup. That tie would be played on Saturday week, the 8th of September. If a replay is needed after this game, that'll be in 48 hours' time. Vale Farm, Wembley on Tuesday night. Kinesia.
I think this game's been refereed very well by Simon Leaf. He's let a lot of the little niggly fouls go, trying to let the game gather some momentum.
Smith. It's a big showcase for the officials as well as for the players, of course. Lucian. Moore laying off for Carter, and Ehiel got there first. The referee was telling me beforehand he also runs the line in competitions up to and including the conference, and is also officiating in this new Next Gen series that started last year, the Mini Champions League.
Oh, really?
For some of the top European clubs. Due to do a game involving Chelsea on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Moore. Ehiog there to prevent the pass reaching Smith.
Could be an excellent progression that for youth football at the Premier League level. it's very different playing in the reserve team or you know, training with the academies, but you need to learn how to play consequential football. And if there is an appetite to win that competition, then it may result in teams not needing to loan their players out and sending them away from the clubs.
Here's Lucien. Wembley preparing to make a change. JJ Mitchell, an attacking midfielder, is going to come on. Bates. Smith for Uxbridge.
Excellent, T, that's good. Great work, T. T, really good stuff.
We're hearing that Terry Venables is plotting that Jason Finnegan should come off.
It's very unusual to see a change before half-time in any game, you know, so I don't know if that's injury-related or just the wisdom of Terry Venables trying to look after this lead.
Mark Smith. This is Lucien, began his career with Brentford. Smith again.
Over your shoulder, T.
Fortunate to get another bite at it, Mark Smith. Julian. Offside against Chris Moore, which will be a relief to Lee Pearce.
It will, because that could have been a penalty and a red card for the big man in goal there. But Christian Hale's probably been the busiest defender on the park today, and his involvement has been fantastic. He's stepped up to the plate on everything that's been asked of him. Getting body on the line for blocks, shepherding the ball out of play. Well, we're talking about the influence of Hugo on Christian, but I think he might be helping Hugo settle back into the sporting fray.
Well, off goes Finnegan. I wonder if you've been brought off and you wish you hadn't been, do you dare deliver a verbal volley at the former England manager on the bench?
I don't think you do, no. Hopefully players don't deliver verbal volleys at any managers anymore. You know, I'd like to introduce a modicum of respect into the professional arena.
Is that your PFA blazer you're wearing there? Christian Hale. Woods. Bates got a foot in. Sean Lucien.
There've been two really good battles in this first half, and they've both been in the Wembley fullback positions. You've got Adun against Lucien, and then Hailstones Hopkins against Matty Woods, and they are very much blow for blow. You know, the players are following each other all over the pitch. I don't think anyone's got the upper hand as of yet, but we've seen some real good tackles. Be interesting to see who does get the upper hand come the end of the game.
Shoulder. Left shoulder. Get in front. Get in front. I can see it. He's sitting in that left.
Ted Buxton, now 78. Terry Venables' long-standing eyes and ears, his main scout for much of his career. He came here on Tuesday night to run the rule over Uxbridge and is back again today for the game itself. Bates. And Connor Carroll a good chance.
It's another outstanding delivery from the gaffer. Putting the ball in really good areas on the set pieces. He'll be expecting more from his strikers and his midfielders, whoever's getting in there. No, a slightly more convincing attempt there from
Connor Carroll.
Carroll. Could have really brought an opportunity.
Connor Carroll's presence in the team points out one of the problems facing teams at Wembley's level and other non-leaguers. When they trained on Thursday, he was working and couldn't join them, so it's a very late assimilation into today's matchday lineup. And something that the long-in-the-tooth coaches, Mrs. Venables, and in this case Keown, aren't necessarily used to when working with players. Unavailability through work. Kinesia.
That really is testament to these guys' commitments, the fact that they're working 9 to 5 jobs.
Kinesia's cross, and there's Mitchell, and there's Atkins, it's 2! A glimpse of what all the fuss is about, as Daryl Atkins doubles Wembley's lead.
Wow, that is not a glimpse, that is a blazing advertisement for what this guy's capable of. Thought the chance had gone when JJ Mitchell, obviously not been on the pitch long enough to get into the swing of the game. He fluffed his chance at the back post, but Atkins, what a strike. So hard to control a half volley. Wow, he's caught that sweetly. The keeper didn't even move. Absolutely no chance.
Just as well that Wembley have found a contract for him to sign, because after his first display in front of the cameras against Langford in the extra preliminary round, Wembley took several calls from interested clubs. Warner. Atkins. And Shelton giving chase to that, but halted by the offside flag.
That must have been very, very close. And players like Shelton and Atkins, they don't need to be putting themselves in the position where it is such a close decision. You know, they've got such pace to burn. He can give himself a yard on both these centre halves and still make it up on a through ball into space like that.
Well, a goal from Atkins that would have graced a much later round of this FA Cup. That's Wood's header.
You can't help being cynical seeing the club snap up Atkins on a contract, but I personally feel quite rightly so. You know, they've put in the hours and effort to give Atkins his platform to shine, and it'd be very, very unfair on them if he was just whisked away for next to nothing.
He's been the star turn. Atkins. That's not one for his highlights edit. Paul Shelton. Connor Carroll.
Not there, Connor, son, not there.
Matty Woods. Shelton, offside.
There's that long-running battle I'm talking about. It looked like Matty Woods might have got the better of Hailstones Hopkins there, but he made his recovery. Managed to nick the ball off him. That one's going the distance.
Well, Uxbridge came from 2 goals behind to win in midweek. And they're faced with a similar challenge here. Shelton for the 3rd time in the space of a minute and a half.
You can see this time at least he tried to bend his run, ran along the line to go out, but the defenders were already well ahead of him. Just needs to afford himself a couple more yards because he'll always win the foot race into the corner.
Looks lively for 35, Shelton.
Oh, definitely, yeah. He's still very athletic. He's still got the pace in his legs. And that's usually one of the first things to go that I've found to my detriment.
So into 2 minutes of stoppage time. And Kevin Warner standing over the ball for Uxbridge, for whom the big day is not working out as planned right now. Warner then, and Pearce with both fists. Kinesia. Here's Mitchell. Shelton. Over into the trees behind that goal. Seems a fairly rural setting here. In fact, we're less than a mile from the meeting point of the M25 and the M4. Way out west for a technical advisor who hails from East London, born in Dagenham, Terry Venables. Bates sliding in.
I think the rules say now that you've got to be in control of your tackle, and whenever you leave the ground, if you're airborne, you're always going to be in trouble. But I'm not sure if he's been given the benefit of the doubt here because he's the manager or he's the captain. But the referee allowing the game to flow.
And for that matter, what doubt? He knew what he was doing. Warner. High and hanging. And a free kick awarded.
It's tough to see how Uxbridge are going to get back into this game, you know. We've talked about the two contests in the full-back areas that are very even. They don't seem to be giving any change out the full-backs. And at centre-half, we've got Hale, who's having a fantastic performance, and don't expect Hugo Ehog to give much away. So it might have to be set-piece situations where they make them count and hopefully capitalise on Lee Pearce's slight questions.
Well, Wembley will be delighted with that. Paul Shelton setting them on their way with the opening goal, and then a blasting second fired in by young Daryl Atkins to make it 2-0 at the break. Terry Venables' experience being brought to bear on this Wembley setup. And so far, the effect seems to be pretty positive, because Wembley are 2 goals to the good, despite being 1 division below their opponents and hosts today. Claudio Kinesia with 1 or 2 words to say as he is escorted from the pitch. And there's also a queue forming for the very genteel T-bar behind the main stand, one of the other attractions of this homely Honeycroft Stadium. Right, let's hear from the man who starred in that first half, Daryl Atkins. They call him the Diamond, and he's with Alicia now.
Daryl, well, after what you'd probably say was a slow start, you must be happy to be 2-0 up at the break.
I'm delighted to go in at the break 2-0 up. It's been hard, especially in the first 15-20 minutes. We were really up against it, but as we grew into the half, I felt that we were opening up the defence, creating a lot of chances, so I feel good for the second half.
Come on now, talk us through that goal. Have you got this game recorded at home so you can watch that?
I actually haven't, but I've got a friend recording it, so I'll look back at it. It's probably one of the best strikes that I've ever hit, but I just saw that he was holding back, and I just thought if I sit back, maybe it'll come to me, and it did, and I hit it sweet, so I was happy with that.
Well, it was a cracker. We'll let you get a break.
Cheers, thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Well, they may be from the division below, but Terry Venables' boys have the edge. The former England manager and the player manager, there he is in the middle of your screen, Ian Bates, will be pretty happy in that dressing room right now. Paul Shelton, and one of the best goals Daryl Atkins has ever scored, he says, for the goals of the game so far. But Uxbridge not out of this yet. Hugo Ehog doing a decent job at the back, isn't he? We'll look back in the first half in just a moment. Hello, good work. Coming up next here on ESPN, live action from Serie A. AC Milan against Sampdoria. That kicks off at 4:45. Then later on this evening at 7:30, action from the French League. Paris Saint-Germain, under a lot of pressure this season, of course, to win the league under Carlo Ancelotti. They take on Bordeaux. That's at 7:30 this evening. Welcome back to Honeycroft here in the preliminary round of the FA Cup. It is Uxbridge 0, Wembley FC 2. Clark Carlisle has been co-commentating the first half and he joins me here for a look back at the highlights. But first of all, Wembley from the division below Uxbridge, we should say, managed by Terry Venables. Do they deserve their 2-0 lead?
Most definitely, yeah. You know, you'd think there'd be a huge disparity between the quality in the sides, but far from it. It's been a very evenly contested game, and the difference between the two sides has been the quality in finishing from the strike pairings. So, yeah, Wembley definitely deserved this lead, and I'm expecting to see more goals in the second half as well.
OK, well, let's have a look back at the goals then. The first one, it took a while coming. It's just over the half-hour mark. Paul Shelton, and he had to do a little bit of work around that goalkeeper.
He did. It's such a good job that he finished this, you know, because there are two guys there screaming for him to lay the ball off. They had the goal at their mercy, but a little bit of composure, which is very hard to teach to players. You know, see that he's still got that, 35 years of age, and it's a very, very good finish. Defenders tried all they could to put him off on the line, but all in vain.
He's a real Wembley hero, Paul Shelton, 140 goals for the club, and as you say, 35 years old. The other end of the spectrum in terms of age, Daryl Atkins, but he's very quickly turning into a Wembley hero. He scored 2 goals in the last round against Langford, which got them into this game. Daryl Atkins with another fantastic finish.
It was an outstanding finish, and I thought the chance had gone because JJ there at the back post, he just fluffed his lines, look, he misread it, but what a finish that is. I don't think Atkins is going to be here to score 145 goals for Wembley, I'm afraid. I think he might be snapped up way before then, but with that quality he's caused problems all day. You know, you see his turn of play, turn of pace, his movement, taking defenders in and running in the channel. He's got all the attributes to be a very good league player.
Yeah, a lot of clubs are looking at Daryl Atkins. Uxbridge's best chance came just after Wembley had gone 1-0 up. Kevin Warner went very close and they were responding well at this stage.
They did, they responded very well. They created 2 or 3 chances immediately after the goal, and that's what you want to see from your side. But this there identifies Uxbridge's best and worst point. Kevin Warner, the full-back, joining up with play, outstanding, gets a shot on goal. But then immediately, what we don't see here is that Wembley go and counter-attack, exploiting the space that he's left because both full-backs have attacked at the same time. So to counter the counter-attacking, they need that midfield and defensive discipline. Ring the box, make sure you've got 3 at the top, and that's how you can make sure that you keep on top in the game.
OK, well, that message may well be one that's been given in the Wembley dressing room as we speak. Let's tune in, shall we, inside the dressing room and listen to the technical advisor, Terry Venables.
You've had the fight for 20-25 minutes and you've got over that. You're keeping the ball, the goal give us a lift. Keep moving that ball. You know what it's like out there, I can see now. What's it going to be like to them? For them, if you keep sticking that ball and moving it and moving it. And when we're on set pieces, let's make sure you've got, if you've got the manual with be touch tight so you actually feel them. Then when you just press them away. Lads, listen. Because we're not. At the moment, the one that's going up for the header is actually making his effort, and the others are watching. Just be watching, but be ready to say, if it comes to me, I'm just going to hook it away all the time. So make sure that we actually compete with that first header. That's really, really important. We don't want to let a goal in just so it's silly.
Yeah, just as important as well is the second ball, because if you're going to win a couple,
that's what I'm saying.
Flick a couple. So just if I'm going up, you're coming round, fullbacks tucked in. It's simple.
Well, Martin Keown, 2-0 up at the break is a good scoreline to be, but it was a shaky start.
Yeah, it was shaky. We rode our luck, to say the least. 2 great goals, two good finishes. Schultz, nice and patient. And then Daryl there at the end, thunderous strike from distance. So, yeah, we know that we're fortunate to be in front. Listen, they play a division above us, so we know that. But we've got to just be professional now in the second half. See the job through. We expect them to come at us. Thought we were a little bit too deep in that first half and inviting all that pressure onto us. So it's going to be tough for us, but fingers crossed.
And have you encouraged the players to still break quickly and catch out the Uxbridge defence? Because that's really where you've been able to capitalise.
Certainly on the break, we know there with Daryl up front, you know, that Daryl Atkins, we've got that little bit of pace. We just need to build a little bit more. Parsons been a bit loose at times. I think the occasion and the fact that you guys are here is tough, and we shouldn't underestimate how difficult that is. But we're coming to terms with that every day. They've been filmed virtually every day, this bunch. They're like film stars now. But they're really pleased, and they desperately want to win. So this would be a massive blow to us if we didn't go on and finish it now.
Thanks, Martin. All the best for the second half.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, they don't need Martin Keown just now, do they? He'll probably stay on the bench where he's probably fairly happy. We are 45 minutes away from a home tie in the first qualifying round, Wembley against Berkhamsted. That's what would happen if it stays this way. Second half on the way.
Welcome back to Honeycroft in suburban West London, where referee Simon Leaf is ready to get this preliminary round tie of the FA Cup up and running for its second half. Wembley still on the road to Wembley, leading 2-0 at this stage. Uxbridge, the home side from one division higher, will have plenty to say about that, no doubt. No changes at half-time by either side. There was that one first-half substitution made by Terry Venables for Wembley. Uga Ehiog, one of the two name players, in inverted commas, in this Wembley lineup, together with Claudio Caniggia. .45 now, played at 3 World Cups for Argentina. Diego Maradona's sparring partner. Smith dispossessed illegally by Ian Bates, and Ian Bates was warned at the end of the first half about a foul. This one is going to take him into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, I think his foul in the first half was worse than that one, definitely. He tried to stand his ground there and toe poke the ball, but just any challenges from behind now in the game are not allowed. So he needs to be setting that example to his team.
Well done for getting back up here, by the way. Clark Carlisle, our co-commentator, also our half-time guest today, which necessitated a climb first down and then up a pretty precarious ladder.
Still plenty of life in the legs yet, John.
Lucien. Clark, let me tell you, from years of experience, it would only take one slip. And then there wouldn't be much life left in anything. Tony Chawles has had his say, the manager of Uxbridge. They had their chances in the first half. Warner and Woods going closest. Howell. And just a reminder that Uxbridge are in the red. Here's Mitchell for Wembley. Dispossessed by Howell. Matty Woods. That'll be a corner.
Inseparable, those two guys. Shadowing each other all over the pitch. Well, Matty Woods is going to have to create something. I think he can be the one who's the spark for this Uxbridge side. Still full of running. They're going to need that.
Wayne Carter with the corner. Farrell. A decent turn, and the ball was cleanly won. And Atkins leads the breakout for Wembley. Cover from Warner. Prize for the winners of this preliminary round tie is a home game against Berkhamsted Town in the first qualifying round. FA Cup comprises 14 rounds in total, all the way through to the final in May at Wembley Stadium. And this is only the second of those stages. Little flick out by the Wembley player boss there.
He's going to have to get a control of himself there. Ian Bates Now we've seen players sent off for less. We saw David Beckham sent off for something very similar in the World Cup. And he's already on a booking.
Yes, referee, fortunately for Bates, took a benevolent view. This was it. Just there. Carter. Offside Lucien.
The players will be relieved to see the sun going behind the clouds here. Temperatures drop quite dramatically here in Uxbridge. That's definitely going to be to their benefit.
Shelton, scorer of the first Wembley goal. And Peacock there ahead of Claudio Canizia.
They're the instances where just that little lack of pace that he used to have that saw him through a couple of World Cups. Might have seen him get on the end of that. Still see the thinking, the appetite still there.
Another offside flag against Sean Lucien. Bhupinder Gill with the flag
I just
on the
bumped into
touchline.
Hugo walking over here. He's coming out of the tunnel. I said, how are you feeling? He said, blowing. That's a universal term for not having played for quite a while.
Well, it's good that you should get to know your centre-half partner for the next round, Clark. What do you reckon? Commentator or player, which do you prefer?
Nothing can replace being out on the pitch, definitely.
Right, you're signed up then. OK, deal done. You're signed up. That's if Wembley get through, of course. Because Uxbridge still have ample time and opportunity to strike back in this tie. Christian Hale. And Atkins will try and rescue something from an unpromising ball. JJ Mitchell. Connor Carroll. Floated by Edun for Shelton.
I know I'm continually waxing lyrical about young Daryl Atkins, but there are certain things that you want to see from young players, and one is that hunger, that desire, the willingness to chase down a lost cause.
Here's Woods for Uxbridge. Edun.
And that's a quality that was just reciprocated by Matty Woods there in the opposite corner. You know, that desire to chase after things and keep the ball in play, create something for your team, not expecting everything to come to your feet. It's a great ball in. Fantastic defending by Adden at the back post. The other pivotal battle, I believe, in this game.
Carter. Towards Stuart Farrell. And the goalkeeper, Pearce, met by Farrell in mid-air. No damage done to either party, fortunately.
That was a clash of the Titans. Wow.
Atkins. Oh, goodness. Nowhere's too far out. Brimful of confidence.
He has got the bit between his teeth today. Look at this. Both feet. Goal with his left foot. This time coming inside. Fantastic strike with his right foot. John Peacock, all he could do, get that over the bar. It is an excellent save because that ball was moving.
It's Atkins' second season with Wembley. He scored 37 times in 51 games for the club. Canizia, Mitchell, nearly fell for Bates. Atkins not this time. And that's a sore one. It's the first thing to stop him today.
It was going to take something like that. That is going to hurt. add insult to injury, it was after the whistle as well. It was a great through ball from Kanija. Now, everyone expected him to whip that in the box, but he saw the run of Atkins, and he's taking that one right in the back of the dome.
Well, it's substitution time by the home side. Sean Lucian is going off, and he's going to be replaced by Nicky Kabamba, a 19-year-old who they signed from the youth team at Hayes and Yedding, just up the road. Lively front runner, Kabamba.
You know, it's one of your worst nightmares as a defender when you've been in a real tough battle with a striker and you see them come off to be replaced by someone who's quicker and equally as strong, just as you're flagging. And all I've heard about Kabamba is about his pace and his tenacity. It's going to be a real test for Hailstones Hopkins.
So things not going the home side's way right now. Still time for that to change. Let's go and join Alan Holloway, the Uxbridge chairman, with Alicia.
Thanks, Champers. Well, Alan, you've got such a long-standing affiliation with Uxbridge. Tell us a bit about it.
I've been chairman now just for 22 years. I was a player down here originally, and then I ran the youth team for 11 seasons and then the reserves for another 10 seasons. And I was asked to join the committee, and the ex-chairman, I was on the committee for 1 year, and he said, could I take over as chairman? And I've been chairman ever since, unfortunately, so there you go. Someone's got to do it, and it's me.
And you're familiar with having big occasions with the Uxbridge team. How does this one compare with the game all those years ago against England?
This is a big occasion for the football club because we've never been televised before. This is the very first time, so we're just hoping this exposure will bring in more people for our league games, you know, for main games we play in. So, yeah, it is a very big day for us. We're not doing very well at the moment.
No, the result's not going your way, but what's the potential of the club going forward?
Sorry?
What's the potential of the club going forward, even though the result's not going your way today?
Well, we'd love to get forward. We've had some good runs in the FA Trophy. We went out to Luton a couple of seasons ago to Luton, and we had a good run in that. And you always want a good run in the FA Cup because, you know, there's prize money involved. Unfortunately, the first preliminary rounds, there's no money involved, you know, so you're trying to get as far as you possibly can, you know. And these days, with non-league sides, you're looking for as much money and sponsorship as possible.
Well, thanks very much, Alan.
All right.
Here come Alan Holloway's Uxbridge with Matty Woods. You could hear the angst in the chairman's voice at the prospect of not being able to please his bank manager with a prize cheque. They are a members' club. Very well stewarded and well run. Warner. Julian.
No foul, no foul.
Smith. Well gathered by Pearce, but he stayed down.
I think that might just be a time-wasting manoeuvre.
What, with 33 minutes to go? Well, it's an occasion that's attracted all sorts, many ground hoppers, and there, Britain's foremost football photographer, Stuart Clark, has been attracted by this one-off occasion. Television cameras at a preliminary round tie of the FA Cup. His collection now occupies a floor of the new National Football Museum in Manchester, which has just opened, and it's well worth a visit. Some of the defining photographic images of our national sport over the past 25 years. Still advising, still tinkering, still wondering.
Needs a little spark, does Terry Charles, from one of his team. Uxbridge needs something to revitalise their attacks. The build-up's been good, but very little end product as of yet.
Max Howell. Wayne Carter. Wembley leading through goals from Shelton and Atkins. Here's Warner. Now Julian for Uxbridge. We'll have a word in just a second with Terry Venables down on the touchline. That is a free kick. Another opportunity for the home team.
Dale Atkins protesting his innocence there. He did get a touch of the ball, but nowadays that's, you know, if you take the player out at all, it's a free kick. Whether you got the ball or not, it can be immaterial. That touch of the ball probably is what stopped him getting a yellow card instead of just giving a free kick away.
Sure. Well, Kevin Warner's going to take this for Uxbridge. And it's square for Chris Moore. Blocked by Bates. Appeal for hands waved away. Julian sliding in. Well, Terry Venables is down on the touchline, of course. Terry, are the players doing what you've told them to do? Are they obeying your orders?
No, they never take any notes from me.
Come on. Are you pleased with their performance today?
Well, you know what FA Cup's like. Here we are under pressure at the moment, for example. So don't like to... so far, until half-time, it's good. It's up to the opposition now to take it up, which is what they're doing, and we've got to do the best we can to sort of subdue that.
And what have you told them, Terry, in terms of closing this one out? What's your advice to them?
Well, I mean, more of the same. I thought the first half we did pretty well on the 20 minutes, just battling it out first of all, and then started to play a bit, and fortunate to get a goal, and then from then on it lifted us quite a bit. So that's about it, really.
And has it got the juices flowing for you, this?
Oh, always, always. I love my juices flowing.
Good man, Terry.
Ta-da.
Touche.
I don't think these guys will need much motivation today, John. You know, they'll be hoping that on this stage, on this platform, this is their chance to show what they can do and emulate the likes of Jamie Vardy we saw scoring yesterday for Leicester, Steve Morrison playing in the Premier League, even someone like Ian Wright who came into the game so late. There's always hope. Where there's ability, there's hope.
Woods to Moore. And Kabamba will challenge, but the flag's gone up. Kabamba ended up in the net, the ball didn't, and Pearce is injured, the goalkeeper.
Not sure if Lee's just making a meal out of that. You know, Kabamba had every right to go for the ball in the air as long as he didn't make any contact with the goalkeeper, which I didn't see from that angle. But I think this is what they call match management. Keeper slowing the game down, relieving the pressure.
Tell you what, you can tell he's a London cabbie, can't you? Plenty to say for himself. Again, his career with Barnet many years ago. Lee Pearce never played in the first team. Howell. Chris Moore less than impressed by that decision. Same goes for Tony Charles.
Tension seeming to rise in this game a little bit. Getting a bit animated in the middle of the park. Lee Pearce not endeared himself to those people behind that goal there either. Let's hope it doesn't put a dampener on what's been a very, very good atmosphere today.
Atkins. Bates. Hailstones Hopkins, the right back. Uxbridge have suffered the frustration of going out at this stage of the competition in 5 of the last 7 seasons. Kabamba. Daryl Atkins. And here's Kanija. And Kanija went alone. It looped high off Stuart Farrell.
It's a great block from the defender there, because that was bound for the far corner. But Atkins again chasing a lost cause. Bit of composure to pick Kanija out. Just prior to that, we had 2 pieces of play from Uxbridge where Chris Moore has some real neat and tidy link work from centre forward, bringing in his supporting midfielders. But they need more than that. They need more than just the pretty play in the middle of the park. They need something clinical in that final third, which is what they've been lacking.
A second change by the home side, Uxbridge. Mark Smith's going off, replaced by a combative midfielder in 19-year-old Andrew Capewell. Moore using his body cleverly. Bates with the tackle, he's on a yellow card.
Well, the Gaffer could be in big trouble here. He should be in big trouble here, he's nowhere near the ball.
Now, if he goes to his pocket, then Bates is off. But it looks like it's a final ticking off.
I've got to say, I think that the manager's got away with murder there. That is his final strike, it looks like. And he's a very, very lucky man. But I must say, it is in keeping with the way that Simon has refereed the rest of this game. He has tried to let it flow as much as possible.
There's a light hand on the refereeing tiller. Kevin Warner. Oh! A quality reply from the Uxbridge left back. And it's hauled his team back into this FA Cup tie.
I was just about to say that this could be the first real chance to test Lee Pearce. You know, you can see that his handling's very good. He does try and dominate his box, but mobility has been the question. And anything that makes him shift across his goal. But I don't think any keeper's getting that. That's a fantastic free kick from Kevin Warner. So hard to get the ball up and down over the wall in such a short space.
So for number 3, who is 33 tomorrow, well delivered free kick, and Uxbridge are back in business. Substitution by Wembley sees Claudio Caniggia replaced by new signing Warren Waugh, whose father used to be Wembley's manager many years ago.
Here we go, come on, mate!
I don't know if Terry Venables has got the right to pull the manager off at this point, but I think he's in a very precarious position.
He's one bad tackle away from going, isn't he now?
I don't even think it has to be a bad tackle, you know. I think he's one free kick away from being sent off, and now this game has just gotten tasty. It could be very much back to the walls for the last 20 minutes for Wembley, and you don't want someone in a position where they might have to forego a tackle or put the team down to 10 men.
Well, the world looks rather different from an Uxbridge perspective now. Plenty of time remaining in the contest. And here's Chris Moore, it's 2-2! 2 goals in as many minutes. And Uxbridge on terms, and with a sniff now of themselves going through to the first qualifying round. The former England manager with questions to answer.
Uxbridge had just turned this game on its head in 2 fantastic minutes. We said it might take a spark, and Kevin Warner provided that. And then Chris Moore, with his first chance in front of goal, gets in behind the back four. What a composed finish that is. Didn't try and blast it, just placed it into the bottom corner. It's an excellent finish.
Player with Football League experience, scored goals for Brentford and for Terry Venables' local club from his birthplace, Dagenham and Redbridge. But here's a significant one for his current team, Uxbridge, 2-2. And that after Wembley had established a 2-goal lead at half-time.
I don't know if the Wembley back four were waiting for a whistle, because it did look that Ugo Ehiogu had just fouled Kabamba, and there was a little bit of hesitation, but not from Chris Moore. He pounced on the ball.
Moore again. Uxbridge with their tails up. Here's Kabamba. Playing in Woods now. There's a renewed zest and belief about Uxbridge. Daryl Atkins, it's probably a good time to bring in the Uxbridge manager, Tony Charles, with Alicia.
Oh, Tony, how quickly a game can change. Those 2 goals came within a minute 50 of each other. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. 2-0 at any level was a dangerous scoreline. So then you look to get the first one. When you get then you look at the opposition and see how they handle being 2-1 up. Again, you know, we've got the equaliser. I'd be disappointed if we don't go on to win it. You know, we've got the grip of it now. So I would be disappointed if we don't go on to win it.
So tactically, would you bring on more strikers, more attack to try and go at Wembley, or would you still be happy to consolidate with the tie and then a replay?
No, we're going to go for the game. You know, we've got a busy league programme, so we need to go and get a win today. We've put Capewell on to add a little bit more bite and a little bit more finesse about the front, behind the front too, and he supplied the ball for the equaliser. So at the moment, plans are working.
A stroke of genius, Tony.
I've been called a lot of things, but never a genius. But we'll see.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Where's your money, Clark, at this stage?
Well, the momentum's definitely with Uxbridge. You know, I think Terry Venables is going to have to pull out a managerial masterclass here to try and shift this tie back in Wembley's favour. It's just all the things that have been to their benefit before now may actually start to work against him. A lot of these guys haven't played together. You know, people like Hugo hasn't played any competitive football for now in a year. And it's now when the backs are to the walls and the questions are asked, what can they pull out of the hat?
Carter. That was Howell. Right back getting forward to some effect. Not enough to concern Lee Pearce. 5 minutes ago, it was still 2-0 to Wembley.
Can you hold it?
Capewell. Here's Woods. Danny Julian. Had the option of Woods. There's Moore. And again, Chris Moore sliding in the nick of time was Ty Eden. Capewell. Kabamba. Moore. Chance for Chris Moore.
Well, you can see the confidence is flowing out of this Uxbridge side now. You know, they kept the ball for a good 12, 15 passes there. Kabamba linking up with Moore. And I think Christian Hale just did enough to put him off. He's lifted it over the bar. He's tried to dink it. It's a very tough skill. But once again, he's actually got behind the back four, causing problems for this Wembley side.
Kevin Lima has come on. He's a forward player, once with Luton, replacing Matty Woods. That's Uxbridge's third and final change. Shelton. Warren Moore. Bates. JJ Mitchell. Kabamba hangs one up for Chris Moore. Carroll. Eden finding Paul Shelton. Ian Bates, Darrell Atkins. Haven't yet got an official attendance figure for this tie, but there's a chance that the record for a competitive game on this ground could be broken today. Set in a game against local rival Slough Town more than 20 years ago. It's an encouraging sign that club officials say they're still counting. Warner, whose free kick set Uxbridge on the road to recovery.
That's one of the things I was alluding to earlier, John, the positive impact of Budweiser in this competition. You know, it's clubs like these, Uxbridge and Wembley, that will really benefit from this increased exposure.
Yes, it is good to shine a light on such an early stage of the FA Cup. Live football next weekend here on ESPN includes, from the Barclays Premier League, Manchester City against Clark's old team, Queen's Park Rangers, the game that decided the league last year. And then from the Scottish Football League next Sunday afternoon from 4, from Ibrox, Rangers against Elgin City is also live. And if this has whetted your appetite for more on Wembley's adventures in the FA Cup, as we watch Paul Shelton troubling John Peacock, let me commend to you a documentary series here on ESPN, 10 o'clock every Thursday night. Dream On, the adventures of Wembley in this season's FA Cup, Terry Venables and all. Doesn't look like a man rapidly approaching his 70th birthday, does he? Very different existence to the man who is Chief Supervisor of Binmen for the London Borough of Hillingdon, and whose team includes a bailiff and a delivery driver for Harrods. Oh, suggestion of a push there, then of a handball, only a corner's given though.
2 shouts for a penalty in the one incident there. See the big centre-half going over at the front post under challenger Warren Moore. But I don't think Hugo Heog had any chance to get his body out of the way of that. You know, he's got his back to the play there. Penalties given in those instances are really, really harsh.
Wayne Carter. Howell. Cleared by Hailstone's Hopkins, the right back. Here's Capewell. Chris Moore on the run. Moore still.
Could have had a hat-trick in 10 minutes here, Chris Moore. But it's a fantastic run. Beats the offside line by coming from deep. Excellent first touch to bring the ball into his path, and then it's that half volley that we were talking about earlier. So difficult to control. And he's almost caught it too well. If you ever can.
We've now got the attendance, which will be one of, if not the biggest of the extra preliminary and preliminary rounds of the FA Cup. 754 inside Honeycroft, which is their biggest for a competitive game in 23 years.
That's fantastic. Direct benefit to the club. You know, hopefully they can utilise those funds and improve upon them with this increased exposure. Just like they were saying earlier, maybe get more fans down to matches in the league. Get a bit more money into the grassroots football.
Well, they'll be delighted with that attendance. They do feel that they lack support sometimes from the local area. And when they were guessing how many they might get, their wildest dreams took them to maybe 500 or 600, but not 754. Just a slight wait because the ball was dispatched into the car park with that last clearance. By the looks of it, it's just removed a wing mirror from a Peugeot. A glimpse it from our commentary position. One car owner has now got a nasty surprise when he goes back after the game. Carter. Moore. Sliding in was Ehiog. Here's Mitchell. Fitzgerald. Hellstone's Hopkins, offside against Mitchell. Now much can still happen, Clark, but 10 minutes or so to go. Given that both sides have had their moments, is a replay a fair outcome from this, or do you feel that one side has been better than the other?
I think a replay will probably be the fairest of outcomes. You know, it's been a veritable tale of two halves. Wembley were by far the better side in the first half. But ever since Kevin Warner's goal, they've just looked completely shell-shocked. Uxbridge have showed their higher class from being a league above, you know, controlled the possession, controlled the play, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see another goal.
Last substitution of the game being made by the visitors. Scorer of the first goal, Paul Shelton, being replaced by another potential goal scorer in Paul McCoon.
Quite surprised to not see Martin Keown come on there and shore up the defence. Thought Terry Venables might go for the old head and try and get another tie out of this competition, which will be a just reward for both sides. Been a very entertaining game.
The unfortunate Toby Webb, injured at the moment, otherwise would have been in this Wembley team. He had an unfortunate incident to the opening league game of the season when the goalkeeper, Lee Pearce, fell on him and, in Toby's words, squashed him. And he's now suffering from what diplomatically is being described as an abdominal problem.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Lee Pearce falls out the sky. I'm sure that's almost at a terminal velocity.
It's Carter. Capewell. Julian. Hailstones Hopkins. Say a lot about Wembley if they manage to retake the lead in this tie. Bates. Wembley are getting on with it. Mitchell. Oh, and the chance was for War. Kicked behind by Farrell in the end.
I really expected War to get on the end of that. He was actually in front of the centre half. It's a great play here. The first attacking intent we've seen from Wembley in this set, well, since they were pegged back.
JJ Mitchell with this. John Peacock concerned enough just to make sure it didn't sneak in beneath the bar. Goal kick given. That's Kevin Lima. Well, let's hear, having mentioned him, from the unfortunate Toby Webb. What was it like to be squashed by his own goalkeeper? He's with Alicia.
I am with him, Champers. So, Toby, Champers wants to know, what is it like being squashed by a goalkeeper?
Well, probably, especially Piercy, it's not nice. They had to dig me out and get me on the stretcher before they pulled me off. But, yeah, it's just one of those things. The crosses come in and we both kind of went up for the ball at the same time, and only one person's going to come out the winner there. So, yeah, unfortunately, I've torn a muscle in my groin and it's going to be out for another couple of weeks. So it's a shame.
Now, we've actually heard that Lee employed a personal trainer before this all started to kick off. What do you think the damage would have been if he hadn't have done that?
Well, it would have been another 3 stone on top of me, I think. He's shed a few pounds and he's looking a lot more athletic, and he's having a good game today. Unfortunately, they've just got those 2 goals to get them back in the game, but yeah, he's looking a lot more agile and it's really helping him out, I think.
Well, Toby, we wish you a speedy recovery. Thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Toby Webb, who is gradually straightening himself out after a traumatic incident. And his assailant takes this free kick. Here's Lima. Kabamba is central, Lima goes alone. In fairness to Lee Pearce, I should point out that David Seaman, who's been working with the Wembley goalkeepers as part of this Budweiser sponsorship, has actually been pretty impressed by what he's seen of him. Here's McComb. Atkins pulls away. Atkins! Oh, he had the chance to send them into the next round. And for once, he fluffed his lines.
That was a prime opportunity. It's a fantastic ball across. All he had to do was maintain his composure there, Atkins. Just hit the target, it looked like a certain goal. But he's leant back, pulled it over the bar. The chance goes begging.
This is all a little fractious. Stakes, relatively speaking, are high. And Chris Moore finds himself the first Uxbridge player to have his name taken. Christian Hale. Oh, Atkins goes down, and the referee's assistant said that was a foul by Warner.
It seemed to me like both players misjudged the flight of the ball. Well, you see Atkins' eyes are on the ball, and Kevin Warner's jumped across him, stopping him from maybe getting onto the end of it.
It's an inviting angle for a left footer. And they've got the height of Warren Moore and Ugo Ehiog. Try to bring into play. Eden with it, there's Ehiog!
There's a chance for Ugo to steal the headlines there. Not an unfamiliar position to him. He's tried to steer it into the far corner. He's got a bit too much on it. Been mightily impressed today by several performers, especially the fullbacks for Wembley. Hailstones, Hopkins and Adoon, I thought that they've been in two really good battles. But also the two main centre forwards as well.
Capewell for Uxbridge.
Dale Atkins and Matty Woods have both stood out. Will someone grab the headlines?
Or will they be written on Tuesday night in a replay?
The referee has indicated there will be a minimum of 4 added minutes.
Warren Moore. Here's Hale. Wembley led 2-0 in this game. First half goals from Shelton and Atkins, and then 2 in as many minutes. Putting Uxbridge back on terms, a Warner free kick and then Chris Moore. Here is Atkins. Peacock comes. Oh, and the chance was for Mitchell, but he was falling backwards as the ball came to him. Moore. Ty Eden. We've had our money's worth out of this tie, Clark.
Definitely, we've been well entertained by these two sides. Both of them have gone for the game, and they've produced some really good football as well. There's been some really excellent interlinking play through the midfield third, trying to play off the striker, playing football to feet.
Bates with the quickly taken free kick, looking for Atkins. And in fact, the influence of the big-name players has been less in numerical terms than in their opening game in this competition, Wembley. They had Parler, Lasso, Brian McBride.
And I'm quite glad of that, to be honest, because I think it's the guys who are playing the league games for these clubs.
Kevin Lima. Carter. This is a side more representative of Wembley. Adorned for a while by Kinesia, and all the way through by Ehiog. Of course, it's the influence off the pitch of Terry Venables, and also Martin Keown has played a part. It's offside against Atkins, and we've got less than 2 minutes now.
Yeah, it's like a Dale Atkins and Matty Woods, these guys who are training every day on top of their normal jobs, who now given this platform to shine, should be given the opportunity to show what they're capable of, making progress in the competition. It's fantastic to bring the attention to these teams, but then when you bring it, at least let the guys who play
Here's Moore, he can win it! Still in play, and Lee Pearce recovers acrobatically, and may well have kept his team Wembley in this season's FA Cup.
Fantastic goalkeeping. Moore just peels off the shoulder of one of the good performers of today, done. Just steals in behind, but it's great goalkeeping from Lee Pearce.
Well, since it's come back to 2-2, both sides have had opportunities to book their place in the first qualifying round. It may well be that Berkhamsted Town, the opponents for the winners of this, are going to have to wait another 48 hours at least to find out who they will be playing. Carter. Here's Moore. One by Warner, dispossessing Atkins, who bit back at him, and it's a corner. And it'll be just about the final act of this tie. starter for Uxbridge. Headed down was by Farrell. And the referee has already looked several times at his watch.
Really picked the crowd up for a grandstand finish there, although it would have been very harsh on either side to lose at this stage in the game. I think a replay is the fairest of outcomes.
And that is what it will be. They will meet again in 48 hours at Vale Farm in northwest London. After an engaging first tie in which Wembley, the visitors, led 2-0. Those goals from Shelton and spectacularly from Daryl Atkins cancelled out in a minute and 50 seconds of the second half. Kevin Warner's excellent free kick and Chris Moore's cool finish. Terry Venables with more plotting ahead of him, because the replay looms before we know who will entertain Berkhamsted in the next round of the FA Cup with Budweiser. Some good individual performances, that crucial late save by Lee Pearce. We may have had our moments of fun about his profile, but he's acquitted himself well, and so have the players of both these non-league teams. Tony Charles, the manager of Uxbridge, will be disappointed with the first half, pleased, relieved by the second and the way that his team fought their way back into it. Ian Bates trod a fine line disciplinary-wise in the second half, having received a yellow card. But Charles used to manage Bates at Northwood, so it's a warm embrace between the two of them. Let's hear from a couple of the combatants, the key men. Chris Moore and Daryl Atkins are both waiting to talk to us now.
Well, lads, we might have to postpone the post-match Budweiser because there's a replay in essentially what is a day and a half.
Yeah, I mean, we're disappointed to go in 2-0 down at half-time, but to be the gaffer said he wants minimum a draw at the end of the game, and that's what we got him, so we're going to Tuesday now.
Daryl, plenty of chances. You scored one, but maybe that gilt-edged chance at the end could have won it for...
Yeah, I peeled off the defender and I was hoping for the pullback, and when I got it, it was only myself to blame for putting it over. I really should be hitting the target after making a good space.
So what are we going to expect on Tuesday night, lads?
More of the same, really. Two sides battling it out, and may the best side win.
Likewise, both teams want to get through to the next round, so it's going to be another heated exchange, and hopefully it'll just be another good contest like today, and whoever wins, so be.
Cheers, lads.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, Alicia. So they do it all over again in 2 days' time. In 6 days' time, we go from the FA Cup to the Barclays Premier League here on ESPN. Manchester City, the champions, take on Wembley FC. Dream On is on Thursday night on ESPN at 10:30. Well worth the watch as well. Welcome back to Honeycroft. It finished here 2-2 between Uxbridge and Wembley. I think Terry Venables is on his way over to talk to us. He's a technical advisor for Wembley. Clark Carlisle, who's been co-commentating on the game, is with me. So it goes to a replay for a chance to get into the first qualifying round of the FA Cup. A fair result. We'll just have a little chat before Terry comes over, Clark.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a fair result. You know, I thought that Wembley were superior in the first half, but they faded a little in the second, and it was going to take something special to kind of change the momentum in the game. Kevin Warner produced that, and then Wembley were shell-shocked. You know, they didn't really seem to come back into it. So I think a replay is definitely fair on both sides, and then also it'll be increased revenue for both clubs, which is always a good thing.
Absolutely, to keep the spotlight certainly on grassroots. Terry Venables is here. Terry, can I pop you around the other side where there's a microphone waiting for you?
How are you? Very well, thank you. Yourself?
You're not too bad.
Terry, talk us through your thoughts after that one. Obviously 2-0 at half-time and disappointed to concede 2 in the second half.
Yeah, very disappointed. But then again, it's a cup tie, and there's a lot at stake for both teams, and I thought we did pretty well. First part of the game, we knew that they were very strong, and we had to have a fight on for the first 20 minutes, evened it out, and we started to play some. And then we got a goal, and from that time on, we looked like we were doing very well. But we knew second half, it's up to them then to come at us, and they did. We did it again all right for about 20 minutes, but I just think we turned off a little bit. Lots of things that you can look at, but then again, it's very hard to criticise when the teams give so much.
Let's have a look at the goals. First half, your first one came from your 35-year-old striker, Paul Shelton. If we have a little look in that monitor there, Terry, you can see he had to do quite well to get round the keeper.
He's going to have to do quite well to see the screen as well.
Tell me about it, Terry.
It's a good job that he finished that, because the players were ringing the box like screaming for a pullback.
They was waiting for ages. I thought it was getting dark. I was waiting for so long. But he kept his cool and he kept going and kept going. I thought, is he? Isn't he? Anyway, it turned out a good goal in the end.
So that was 1-0 and definitely well deserved at that stage. The man that scored 2 in the last round that everyone has been talking about, and you're grinning about him, Daryl Atkins, with another fantastic strike.
Another great goal. In fact, he's really disappointed because he could have won it at the end.
Yeah.
But then again, they also could have won it at the end. But they had a good chance. So it was about even Stevens, and the show is going to go on to Tuesday. So
what a strike this was, though, with his left foot.
I know, it was amazing.
Fantastic technique.
It's amazing, absolutely.
I know a lot of the talk has been about Daryl Atkins, but what do you think of the two fullbacks? Hailstone, Hopkins and Adun. I thought they were both excellent today. They were in a battle.
They're very good. Yeah. But I think, well, I wasn't going to say anything because we've got another game to come. So, I felt that what was good about it. But nevertheless, I thought both sides really had a crack at it, and it was good advert for the lower leagues, really.
They're not too disappointed in the dressing room, are they?
Yeah, they're disappointed. I'd be disappointed if they weren't, you know. So I think that the game show goes on Tuesday, and we'll have to see how we fare.
Absolutely right. So overall, a proud day for you, though, because of course Uxbridge is a division above.
Yeah, I mean it's hard, and I think that we did show that we could play on a big part of the game, really. But we have got to play for 90 minutes. That's the sort of learning point of today.
Terry, thank you very much indeed.
My
Good luck
pleasure.
Tuesday. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Okay.
Clark, thank you very much indeed for your company today. Terry, thank you again. So that is all from us here at Honeycroft. Before we go, let me just remind you of coming up afterwards here on ESPN. We have got AC Milan against Sampdoria. That's coming straight up. Then at 7:30 tonight, PSG against Bordeaux. That's ones from the French League. From all of us here at Honeycroft, well, Wembley FC are still on their road to Wembley. See you soon.